Hi everyone, how are you all? Today in this video we're gonna talking about the most 26 VBI questions of hoops which are generally comes in our university exams. Okay, the first unit and the first question is name the characteristic of object-oriented programming. Here is the four most characteristic of object-oriented programming like encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism. And what is encapsulation? We see bundling data, attributes, and method into a single unit, restrict direct access to some concept, ensuring data integrity. Example: a bank account class with private data members like balance and public method like deposit and withdraw. What is abstraction? Hiding complex implementation details and exposing only essential features. Example as user interact with a car using the steering wheel, accelerator, and brakes without knowing how the engine works. And third, what is inheritance? Creating a new class from existing ones यानी कि बेस क्लास से डिराइव क्लास को बनाना इनहेरिटेंस बोलेंगे सारे प्रॉपर्टी को उसमें शेयर करना प्रमोट कोड रीयूज एंड एस्टैब्लिश इज एन रिलेशनशिप example as for example a dog class inherit from an animals class. What do you mean by polymorphism? Allowing object to take on multiple forms, achieve a strong function overloading, overriding a virtual function. Example, a shape class with a drop method that have differently for circle and square object. The second question is, what are the merit and demerit of object-oriented programming approach? Explain the concept of encapsulation. First, merit of object. Allied reusability. Code can be reused through inheritance, reducing uh, redundancy. Example: a vehicle has can be reused to create a car and bike classes. Modularity. Programs are divided into smaller, manageable unit. Example: a library system can have separate class for book, member, and transaction. Third, I have a maintainability. Easier to update and maintain code due to modularity. Examples are changing the calculate salary method in the employee does not affect other classes. Fourth हमारा जो है ना that is data hiding. Hiding improves security by restricting access to data. Example: private data members in a bank account class prevent unauthorized access. Demerit of OOPS complexity. OOPS concept like inheritance or polymorphism can be difficult to understand. Example: multiple inheritance can lead to damage problems. Performance of abstraction and polymorphism can lead to slow execution. Example: virtual function introduce a slight overhead due to dynamic binding. Overhead require more memory and processing power. Example: creating a multiple subject of a class consume memory. What is encapsulation? Encapsulation is the mechanism of wrapping of data and method. Here is method into a single unit. It restrict direct access to data members, ensuring data integrity. That is the program of encapsulation in C++. Basically, we have created a class of employee and we use private access modifier in salary data is hidden and public void set salary salary is equal to set that is a method of set and method of get data that is yeah. And here salary is private and can only be accessed or modified using get salary. And now we're gonna talking about compare the object oriented programming and procedural programming language. Here is POP and here is that is ropes that is known as POP. Object in data, function and procedure. Data access की बात करें तो data is accessed through method and data is openly accessible. और रीजबिलिटी की बात करें तो हाई इसकी लो होती है सिक्योरिटी इसमें हाई होती है उसमें लेकिन पीओपी में लो सिक्योरिटी होती है एग्जांपल की बात करें तो उसमें हमारे सी प्लस प्लस जावा पाइथन आ जाएगा लेकिन इसमें हमारे सी पास्कल फोर्ट्रन आएगा. The fourth question of what is CPP streams? Explain with the string classes. C++ strings are used for input-output operation. They provide a way to interact with input-output devices like keyboard, monitor, and files. स्ट्रीम क्लासेस की बात करें तो स्ट्रीम आईओ स्ट्रीम हैंडल इनपुट आउटपुट ऑपरेशन जैसे कि सीन आउट एंड एफ स्ट्रीम हैंडल फाइल ऑपरेशन देयर इज थ्री टाइप्स ऑफ स्ट्रीम क्लासेस पहला इनपुट आउटपुट स्ट्रीम जो इनपुट आउटपुट को हैंडल करेगा सेकंड एफ स्ट्रीम जो हमारा फाइल ऑपरेशन को हैंडल करेगा जैसे कि एफ स्ट्रीम ऑफ स्ट्रीम एस स्ट्रीम हैंडल स्ट्रिंग ऑपरेशन example is a string os os string a string and here is the example of code you can see that is a simple code in C++. Include iostream username space steady int man int num cout integer number. Here is the second unit started. The first question is what is data heading, how it is done in object oriented programming, what are the advantage of data heading. डेटा हाइडिंग क्या होता है भाई? इट इज द प्रोसेस ऑफ restricting access to data members of a class to prevent unauthorized access. How? Achieving using access specifier like private and protected. एडवांटेज की बात करें तो इम्प्रूव सिक्योरिटी बाय प्रिवेंटिंग अनऑथराइज्ड एक्सेस, maintain data integrity by controlling how data is modified, enhance modularity, and reduce complexity. Here the simple code of a बैंक अकाउंट लाइक क्लास अकाउंट एंड इसमें जो हमारा बैलेंस है प्राइवेट है बैलेंस को बी से सेट किया गया है और गेट बैलेंस के लिए इस फंक्शन का यूज किया गया है and explain abstract data types with example. An abstract data types is a mathematical model for data types. It defines a set of operations on the data without specifying how the operations are implemented. Example, a stick is an edited with operation like push, pop, peek. Implementation in C++, here is code. We create a class stick, private area 100 in top. That is our code. Now, what is difference between static and dynamic object? Static creation की बात करूँ तो created and compile time, created at runtime. Memory allocation is a stack, and memory allocation in allocated in heap. Destroy with when the programming destroy implicitly using delete. Example object a star object new. What do you mean by access control specifier? Explain each of them in brief. Firstly, access control specifier define the visibility of class members. First, public members are accessible from anywhere. Private members are accessible only within the class. Protected members are accessible within the class and derived classes. Here is the code. Class A public index, private protected. Explain constructor and destructor with example. What do you mean by constructor? A special method function that initialize objects. It has the same name as the name of the class, name as class. Destructor, a special member function that clean up resources when an object is destroyed. It is preceded by tilde. Here is a small code. क्लास ए पब्लिक एक अंदर कंस्ट्रक्टर को कॉल किया और अगेन वी कॉल डिस्ट्रक्टर. Here is a return zero destructor. Now we switch in third unit name of the first question is write short note on multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance allow a class to inherit from more than one base classes. Example, class A that is called diamond problem. If two base class inherit from common base class. And here is the 11th questions. Explain virtual inheritance in CPP. Write short note on this inheritance. What do you mean by virtual inheritance? Solve the diamond problem by ensuring only one instance of the base class is inherit. Class A, class B, virtual public A, virtual public A, virtual public B, public C. What is disinheritance? Removing a class from inheritance hierarchy. It is known as directly support in C++. What are the different kind of relationship among the class? Inheritance is a relationship. Example, dog is an animals. Association has a relationship. Teacher has a student. Aggregation weak or that is strong. Explain about association between object by giving examples. That is code you can see. Write short note and recursive association. Recursive association occurs when the object is associated with itself. Explain name association with examples. Name association explicitly names the relationship between the object and what are the different type of aggregation with example. Weak has a relationship. Example, a car has wheels. Composition strong has a relationship. A house has rooms. A right certain and delegation. Delegation is when an object handle a request by passing it to another object. Class A, class B, that is code. Explain the interface concept in Java. A interface in Java is blueprint of class with abstract method. Interface drawable, word draw. What do you mean by abstract class? An abstract class is a class that cannot be initiated, instantiate, and may contain abstract method. What are different type of polymorphism? Compile time polymorphism or runtime polymorphism. Achieved through function overloading and operator overloading. Runtime achieved through function overriding. Explain the meaning of polymorphism. How is polymorphism achieved? At runtime, explain the coding with coding. Polymorphism means many forms. Runtime polymorphism is achieved using virtual function. That is examples. Explain virtual function. Virtual function is a function. Base class data can be overridden in derived classes. What is operator overloading? Why is it necessary to overload an operator? Operator overloading allow operator to work with user-defined types. Overriding overloading क्या है? इन दोनों में डिफरेंस बताइए. Redefining method in direct class. Refining multiples method with the same name but different parameters. Involved inheritance within the same class. Words on base and derived class. What do you mean by friend function? A friend function is non-member. Non-member function that can access private and protected members of class. Exception handling क्या है? Exception handling manage runtime errors using try, catch, and throw.